Okay, Domingo. Before I can put your team back on operational status, I need you to complete a test mission. The setting is the training warehouse, except this time, we've added a new element to the mix. You and your team will need to work closely to secure the 2 hostages we placed in the scenario. You can expect moderate resistance. Show me what you've got. Okay, Ding, let's see if you still have what it takes to lead a team. In the bottom center of your screen is your team's information. Their names appear just below their current health. Above their health is their current action or status. As you can see, they are currently covering. This means that they are detached from you and ready to engage any tangos that are unlucky enough to cross their field of view. You can use the Team Hold Regroup button to have your team move to your position and follow you. Ask your team to regroup now. Coming to you. Good job. Now, let's give your team another order. Remember the action icon displayed above your team's information? When you look at an action location from a distance, brackets appear around it. Anytime an action icon appears with brackets, you can give an order to your team. We'll start with the simplest order you can give your team, Move To. To issue a Move To order, look at the area where you want your team to move and press the action button. Now, send your team to the next room by issuing a Move To order.
Roger. Moving now.
Great. Giving Move To orders also works when you look at walls and most other objects in the world. Move to the next area. Okay, now let's issue a door order. Since you don't interact with everything in the world the same way, you get a different action icon depending on where you look. For example, when you look at a door, you get a door action icon. Tell your team to open and clear the next room by looking at the door and pressing the action button.
Waiting for orders.
Roger. Open and clear. Contact! Threat eliminated. Clear! As you can see, there is a bomb in this room. Order your team to disarm it by looking at the bomb and pressing the action button.
Roger. Demo up.
Nice work. Now, let's practice giving detailed orders to your team. Instead of pressing the action button to give your team an order, press and hold the action button. This brings up the Quick Order interface, which displays all of the orders you can give at this location. Give your team an open, flash, and clear order using the Quick Order interface.
Roger. Open, flash, and clear. Contact.
Hostile eliminated.
Huh?
Outstanding. Flashing a room before assaulting it temporarily blinds the terrorists inside, making it easier to eliminate them. Since flashbangs do not cause damage, you should use them around hostages. Order your team to secure the hostage by looking at the hostage and pressing the action button. Roger, securing hostage. Nicely done. You can also give orders to your team using the Zulu Go code. This allows you to give orders to your team, which they execute only after you've given them the Zulu Go code. Once you've issued an order on Zulu, you can move to another area before issuing Zulu Go code and telling your team to execute their order. This allows you to assault a room from 2 different directions at the same time. Give your team an order on Zulu Go code on the next door.
Waiting for orders. Roger. Open flash and clear on Zulu.
Perfect. Now your team is in position and waiting for you to give them the Zulu Go code. Move to the other door, give the Zulu Go code, and then storm in the room at the same time as your team.
Roger. Open flash and clear. Clear.
Nicely done. Let's practice the Zulu Go code technique again, but this time using a breach order. Roger. Breach on clear on Zulu. Placing explosives. Explosives ready. Now move to the other door, give the Zulu Go code, and storm in simultaneously with your team. Fire in the hole! Contact!
Contact.
Fantastic job. Breaching a door blinds the people inside the room, but also causes damage to anyone standing nearby. Always make sure hostages are away from doors before breaching them. Order your team to secure the hostage by looking at the hostage and pressing the action button.
Roger. Securing hostage.
You've done an outstanding job, Domingo. You and your team are back on operational status. Nicely done. It's good to have your team back and fully operational. Just in time, too. We're going to need you in the next few months. Terrorists have started hitting Venezuelan targets worldwide. And while we haven't been requested yet, I have a feeling that's about to change. Throw in the fact that the dispute between the US and OPEC is escalating daily, and I think it's safe to say there will be work for your team very soon.
The attack in Boston was only one of several coordinated terrorist strikes against Venezuelan interests. Dr. Prince, what can you tell us about this most recent incident?
I think you can say that what we saw in Boston was an objection to Venezuela's foreign policy.
Was this related to OPEC's decision to impose an oil embargo against the U.S.?
Well, as you know, Venezuela is now the only OPEC member exporting oil to the United States. It's a very tense situation.
The Prime Minister has just arrived at the G8 summit in Gstaad, as has the President of Venezuela, here to discuss his nation's role in the present oil crisis. Talk of terrorism may also be on the agenda.
Here's the situation. We have 2 hostages inside the compound and an unknown number of terrorists. They're demanding $20 million and an end to the oil sales to the U.S. Both captives are members of the Venezuelan delegation, though President Ruiz is not on the list.
What about the other delegates?
Everyone else was let go as soon as the Swiss authorities showed up. bad guys aren't budging on the Venezuelans, though, and that's why we're here. The situation's too hot for the locals to handle. Let's get right down to business. We have a hostage situation in Switzerland. It seems that an unknown group of terrorists have attacked the G8 economic meeting early this morning, and things have escalated to a level where the Swiss government is formally requesting our help. The terrorists took members of the Venezuelan delegation hostage in the village near the conference and are demanding that Venezuela stop selling oil to the U.S. in exchange for their release. Obviously, both the Venezuelan and American governments are a little upset over this, especially since the terrorists took the Venezuelans hostage and let the other delegates go. The reports the local police have given us indicate that the terrorists are neither well organized nor armed. The one thing they do have in their favor is numbers. You're going to be facing roughly 3-to-1 odds when you go in, but I expect your training and skill to make the difference here. Take them out quickly. It's the only chance the hostages have. I need you to move into the village and neutralize the terrorists. Intelligence puts the first hostage somewhere in the church. Take it nice and slow. Coming to you. Roger. Securing terrorists. Careful on the road. You don't want to get caught in a crossfire.
Waiting for orders.
Intelligence puts the last hostage in the basement. Don't rush.
Coming to you. Information. Contact. Better? دعك من هذا. Contact. انتبه. Contact. Roger. Securing hostage. Roger. Moving now.
Roger. Securing hostage. Excellent work, Domingo. Extract now. Both the Venezuelan and American governments are extremely pleased with your performance. They've also got a lot of questions over who was behind this operation. It's no secret that ever since OPEC slapped that oil embargo in place, tensions between the U.S.-Venezuela alliance and the rest of the OPEC nations have been running a little high. Intel is speculating that someone with ties to another OPEC nation might be behind this. But as of now, we've got no hard evidence one way or the other.
Nice work, people. Unfortunately, we're not done yet. Some of the terrorists cut and ran before we arrived, and we're working cleanup. Fortunately, we know exactly where they are. They wiped out in a highway tunnel 20 clicks south of here, and barricaded themselves behind an overturned fuel truck. They've also pulled a couple of hostages out of stopped cars. This one's a rush job, gentlemen, so go get them. Keep your gear on, because I'm gonna have to throw you right back into the field. It looks like a few terrorists escaped the village before the Swiss managed to get their perimeter in place. Luckily, they didn't do a good job of running. 70 clicks northeast of the village, they wiped out in a tunnel and took a few other cars with them. Now they're holed up